The Inside the Dam podcast is brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Check out Papa John's Pizza at 200 South Broadway Street in Minot for their deals and student discounts. And also, check out KMSU Channel 19's YouTube page every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the Inside the Dam podcast. We're already towards the halfway mark in the ACHA club hockey season coming up, and Minot State's in between road trips as well, one to Illinois and another one to Virginia. It's a good time to talk about one of their stars on the rink. Matt Egan, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Now, this is the Inside the Dam podcast presented by Papa John's, and I'm Owen Patterson here. And Matt, we just spoke about the road trips you guys have coming on, and I know that you were just talking about coming into town here at the time of recording, 7 a.m. this morning, talking about the turnaround from Illinois getting back.
Yeah, it was definitely a long bus ride back, but, when you get 3 wins on the weekend, go 3-0, sweep it, and, come back on a happy bus, it comes back pretty smoothly, so it was good.
And 3 pretty impressive wins as well. That's the ACHA showcase you guys were at. 3 ranked teams you took on undefeated. UNLV right away. I know that's been a matchup of note around ACHA Division I all season. And Arizona State to wrap it up. 8 goals as a team, 2 by you. Talk about some of your individual performance over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest goal scorer, but, when you pot 2 like that, it's definitely nice. And, overall, it was a great team effort over the weekend. Everyone bought into the systems and, mentally prepared for these games because, playing, 3 games in a row like that, it's not easy. But overall, it was a good weekend, and it's definitely a good feeling going into Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, you get a bit of a break here in what is a really long, quite tenacious kind of season. I mean, you're playing nonstop for a couple months here. You get a week off, and then you go on the road to Virginia, take on a Liberty University team, always kind of in the conversation. How important is this kind of week away from that competition?
Yeah, no, it's definitely important, but at the same time, too, I think this break coming up is going to do everyone some good. Get away from the rink a little bit, get away from school. But, like that road trip to Virginia, I think, like I said, us being mentally prepared for it, I think we'll just do just fine.
Yeah, this season, your second season, correct, here
Yeah.
in Minot. What has the program been like since you've been here for 2 seasons? What are some of the takeaways about this Minot State Beavers team?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I love it here, and a lot of takeaways, whether it's, we talked about the traveling and, managing school on top of that. It's a lot to do, but, you're not the only one doing it. You got, 25 other guys doing it. And, overall, the experience has been great.
Let's talk a little bit about your personal kind of hockey journey here. When did you start skating?
I think 5 years old.
Say people born in Canada, I hear they kind of just born in the States, correct?
Yeah,
Born
yeah.
in the rink, live there, and you're from Saint Adolphe, Manitoba, in the southeast corner. What's the hockey atmosphere like in that town?
It's definitely a small hockey atmosphere. Big hockey town though. We're probably 10-15 minutes just south of Winnipeg. So, I've played hockey growing up there all my life, and it's grown a ton since I was a little kid. So, that's it.
And the kind of the hockey, the route through a hockey career, especially young, is a little bit different up there in Canada, correct, than maybe some would think here in the U.S., where you kind of just play your prep, you might play club, and then it's off to college, where your path, along with many other Canadians, is through the junior leagues, right? Did you play any junior hockey up there?
Yeah, I did. I played junior hockey in Flin Flon, Manitoba. They're part of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, and nothing but great things to say about that town. I loved every second of being up there, whether it's, going through the hard times of, again, getting back at 4 a.m. or doing a hard workout or a hard skate. But, and definitely enjoyed my time. And, I mean, I'd say it's pretty similar to the States a little bit, once you graduate from, AAA programs or prep programs. Typically guys go to, their junior leagues to get a little bit more development to, hopefully achieve that goal of going to play college hockey somewhere. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about my path, and that's how I pretty much ended up here.
Yeah, and what's the kind of decision like to go from junior college to a club hockey team here in Minot? Obviously at the collegiate level, in the high club hockey collegiate level. What was the recruitment like? What was the decision like to start playing college here in the States?
Yeah, well, I think it was. I think I was 14 years old when I said I wanted to play college hockey because there's the Canadian Hockey League in Canada, which is a Tier 1 junior league, and rules have changed recently. Before when I was playing, not in the Western or the CHL, sorry, if you signed with a team there, you technically can't go to college in the States. So I kind of looked at my options, and I was like, you know what, I'd love to go to college in the States and kind of experience that. So, yeah.
And once you got here to Minot, it's kind of been a story of some perseverance, correct? Off the ice with the cancer
Yeah.
treatment as well.
Yeah.
Just what's the story there? How'd you get through it along with playing some hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Christmas of 2023 when we found out I was had cancer, and whatever, I got the surgery to remove it, and after that I was going for monthly checkups, and it was June of 2024 I committed here, and then 2 days later on my birthday I found out that there was signs of a reoccurrence of it spreading throughout my stomach. And I was pretty crushed at first, but growing up, I've always been that motivational kid, getting through any kind of tough times. So, that kind of resulted in me missing a couple weeks my first year here last year. But, I've been cleared ever since. I've been healthy and, definitely happy and definitely, back to doing what I love. And so, yeah, it was definitely a long road and something I'll remember for the rest of my life for sure.
If there's a listener out there that's doing something they love and they run into a hardship like that, what's something maybe you look towards, latched onto, said to yourself to make sure you got to the end and got back to things you love doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. One thing, I think your mind's one of the most powerful things you got. You think positive, and positive things are gonna happen, and you're gonna have your low days and you're gonna have your great days, kind of thing. And it's just about how you can, I guess, respond to those bad days, and how that can kind of help you mature or realize, I can get through this, kind of thing. And there's actually this book my parents got me for Christmas a couple of years ago. Is the title is called "Be Where Your Feet Are." And it's literally in the saying, you can't change anything from the past, and you can't think, too far ahead in your future. You be where your feet are, you be in the now, and, you worry about things in the future when the future comes, and, you learn from your past mistakes.
Talk a little bit about you off the ice. Any hobbies you have away from hockey?
Love going to the gym, playing video games, hanging out with buddies, golfing, fishing. That's about it.
How about you talk about hanging out with your friends here? I assume a lot of them on the hockey team as well. Draw a lot of similarities. A lot of this roster is from the Canadian side of the border. What's that kind of brotherhood been like, joining a lot of people that came from kind of the same area here in Minot?
Yeah, it's great. We definitely have a tight-knit group. Just like you said, just having that, kind of similarity of where we all came from. We all talk about stories where we played from and whatever. It's every year, it's from day one, whether you're a new guy or you're a returning guy, you feel welcomed, you feel like you're at home, and it's definitely, one of the closest groups I've been a part of.
There's obviously the student part of student athlete. What are you studying here at Minot State?
I'm in marketing and management right now.
And what got you into that?
I've always been, kind of the guy that's interested in business. I think that's pretty common with some athletes, but I think with that degree I can do a lot with it. Maybe even get into fire school after my college career, becoming a firefighter. So yeah, just little things like that, I think.
Sounds like a great plan here once you're done. How about for the rest of the hockey career here at Minot State? What are some of your goals, some expectations, lastly, on the rink?
I think the number one thing is win a championship. I think everyone has that same goal in that locker room. For me, playing in Flin Flon, I was there for 3 years, and all 3 years I went to the SJHL finals and didn't come out with the outcome I wanted. And, last year, losing at nationals, being pretty close to that title. I think just winning a national championship and, personal goals, like I said, it's nice to score the goals and stuff like that. But, you gotta build your team. You gotta know your role. And, how I look at it is like when you're building a house, you can't build a house with 5 plumbers. You gotta have your carpenter, your electrician, just little things like that. So, and, I'm very confident in this group this year. We can do something special.
Are off to a great start right now, 12-1 record. I know a big weekend road trip coming up to start December against Liberty University, so we wish you and your team the best of luck in December and the rest of the season, and we thank you for stopping by here on the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and this has been the Inside the Dam podcast presented by Papa John's on KMSU Channel 19.